All right. So we'll go ahead and add one more dashboard into this workbook, right? Now, under here, we have already been working on this particular first sheet, which is nothing but your worksheet, right? Like this. So we have been creating individual charts over here as of now, but now the concept is related to dashboard or storylines or storyboards, right? So the difference between sheet and dashboard or storyboard, right? New story, which you can see here, is like on individual sheets, you can create individual charts itself, right? Or in other words, in one sheet, you can create one chart itself. You can have, like dual chart or custom charts, but only one chart on one sheet is allowed in Tableau, right? You cannot create multiple charts into one sheet. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Right. Now, another thing is like we created several objects over here, for example, sets, parameters, then we had groups and calculated fields, right? So out of these things, there are few things which will be, available across the workbook, and few things will be there which are limited to a particular sheet, right? And then there would be some of the things which will be limited to particular one data source, right? So when I say data source, let's say you connected to number of data sources. Let's say some of your data is coming from SQL Server, some of your data is coming from Excel, right? So in that case, let's say you created some calculated fields, for example, calculation when or my measure. You created sets or you created groups, right? So these three things, calculated field, group, and set, these are related to your one data set. So they will appear only for that particular data set under which they have been created. Right? Let me repeat again. Sets, groups, and calculated field, they will appear only under those data sources under which they have been created. Right? So let's say you created these things under the data coming from Excel, they will not appear under the data source which is coming from SQL Server,
Right.
right? Anup, pitch in case you have any doubt or question.
No, I'm good.
Right. Then filters, right? Filters we drag on one particular sheet, but you have option, right? But you have option whether you want that filter to be applicable to all the sheets or not, right? We can just take one example over here. For example, let me go to, okay, let's say this one, top 5 filters by state. Okay, I will drag one filter called category. I have 3 values. We'll say use all, apply, okay, right? This filter got added into this particular sheet right now,
Yes.
which means if I go and click on show filter and I kind of, let's say select single value at the moment. So if I say furniture, my data will get filtered only for furniture category under this sheet, on this particular sheet. There will not be any impact on other sheets in this workbook at this moment, right? So at this moment, that filter is not affecting any other sheet of my workbook.
Okay.
How can we make sure that it is not affecting? If you go to any other sheet, you will not get that filter either here or here, right? The number which you see here, 150,000, you go back there, make any changes, you come back here again, you will still see that same number 150,000, right? That filter is not applicable to any other sheet. Now, if I go back to that particular sheet and make some changes into this particular filter, for example, if you see here like apply to worksheets,
Okay.
it has several other options like only this worksheet right now, selected worksheets, all using this data source, all using related data sources, right? So let's select the second one, which is selected worksheets, right? This particular options lets you select those worksheets where you want this filter to be applicable. Fine. You don't have any option to kind of check or uncheck the current sheet because it's already disabled over here, right? You don't have to make any changes on this particular sheet, but you can check uncheck other sheets wherever you want it to be applicable or not. For example, if I select scatter plot and histogram both and okay, if you go here now, right, see the number got changed
Okay. And the filter is also applied.
and filter is also applied. Earlier this thing was not there. Same goes with scatter plot. This category filter came here. Okay, so these are the ways you can apply the same filter to other worksheets. But still, I mean, if you go to any other sheet, for example, like this, it doesn't have that category,
Okay.
right? Now, if I go back to this option over here, apply to worksheets, it says using all this data source. At this moment, I have only one data source in my workbook, which is orders, sample, superstore. And in this situation, if I say apply to all the worksheets using this data source, this filter will be applicable for the entire, I will not say entire workbook, but I will say in this situation, entire workbook, right? Because I have only one data source. So any worksheets you go, you will see that filter applicable here. Okay. So filters, we said like groups, sets, and calculated fields will be applicable to only that particular data set, data source where we have created those. Now filters, it depends whether you want, you can make them applicable. If you don't want, you can, exclude those sheets where you don't want them to be applicable. So you have option. Now three things were very clear, right? Straightforward. Only this worksheet, selected workbook, or using all this data source. Now my question is what this last option talks about. All using related data sources. What are the related data source?
Means if it's combined with any other data source, even that can use filter can be applied to that. If there are
How
two
do?
data sources, if there
Mhm,
are two data sources, like one is order and another is like something like sequence.
mhm,
Uh, if it's using like and filters like any other dimension measures of that sample, then
mhm.
it can be applied for that as well. My understanding.
Right. How do you combine data sources here?
Uh, by joins or by creating a relationship between them.
Okay.
Uh,
Joins or yeah, no, please go ahead. Mhm,
no, so all the other worksheet which are using the same data source,
mhm.
uh, this filter will apply on them as well.
No, so that was the second option over here, right? All using this data source. My question is all using related data source.
Okay.
right? Okay. Going back to the answer what Darshan was giving. So Darshan, you mentioned like joins and relationships, right?
Mhm.
So actually there are two mechanisms, right, through which you can join your data sources,
Yes.
right? You can join two connections. I mean, when you say join, right? Let me go back to
Mhm.
data tab. Over here, if you see, joins are allowed only on this particular screen.
Mhm.
Correct? Correct?
Mhm.
If joins are allowed on this particular screen, and if I go back to data, let's say my worksheet, I will be able to see only one data source here,
Right.
right? What I mean is, you can create, let's say it's already Excel, you can add other data source, whether it is SQL Server or any, Oracle database.
Mhm.
If you are doing join, you'll be doing that join on this particular page, and on your worksheet, you will see only one data source name.
Correct.
Join doesn't show multiple data source names,
Okay.
correct? Right? That's the first thing, which means
Even
you
cross-check is
can,
there?
uh, can you please come again? Anup, can you please repeat that? Okay.
I think
I mean,
she is starting like cross or something.
yeah,
I
I
think she's
couldn't hear
applied
that.
in like two different data sources. There should be two different data sources. If from that data source field is being used, if there are some common fields, then
Mhm.
only a filter can be applied.
Right. So I'm coming to that point. I mean, see, the very first thing is, in case you are, in case you are kind of joining any data source here, right?
Mhm.
Which means it's not a new data source for Tableau. It is only multiple data connections for Tableau,
Okay.
right? I mean, see the difference, connections and data sources. Over
Yes.
here, over here, if you see these things, these are your connections. See, add a connection,
Okay.
right? So these are your different connection types, which means you are adding a new connection into Tableau. And whatever data is coming from different connections, you can make them as a join over here. As
Okay.
soon as you do the join and come back to your worksheet, it will be only one connection, one data source here,
Okay.
right? Which means after joining multiple connections, you created one data source that will be applicable to all the sheets. But if you go back to your data source and kind of just create new data source, this will be a completely fresh new data source. And in that case, you will get two data sources here.
Okay.
So one is connection and another is data source, right? Now, how to join them here? We generally don't call it join, we call it data blending. Remember going through these relationships and updating our data, right? Which means you are kind of combining or making a relationship between two databases or two data sources which you already have connected in Tableau,
Right.
right? So, for example, let's say if I do one thing here, um, I will go back to data source. We'll say new data source connection. Over here also, if you see, it's a new data source, not a new connection. I'll go to, let's say, Microsoft Excel, but this time I will select some other sheets, let's say result. Okay. As soon as you connect, now you will see here, your first data source is not coming. Now you see the results one. And over here, sheet 1 is already dragged into the data portion. If you right click on this particular drop down, you will see both. First one is the order, second one is the sheet. And now if you go to your any of your sheets, you will see two options over here, orders and sheets. Fine. So, so if you go here into edit relationships, now your data source, orders, and data source sheets are related to each other based on this relationship, right? When I say relationship, basically Tableau has automatically identified the common columns between data, both the sources, and mapped them here. In case, let's say in case the names in both the files are different, in that case, Tableau will not automatically create these relationships. In that case, we will have to manually go here, add it, and create that relationship. For example, which field from primary data source and which field from secondary data source are same, you need to kind of select those and click OK, so that that relationship will be created over here. But in case the city was already selected, so it says mapping will be replaced for at least one existing mapping, right? Because city was already here, right? If I go ahead and create as a custom, it will simply replace this and create a new one. On data set, there will not be any impact, but yes, it will kind of change the existing mapping, right? This is how we create related data sources. So if you go ahead and apply this filter, it will work on those data sources which are joined using data blending, right? That was the difference. That was the difference. But over here, using this data source, we'll have, you know, all the sheets which are utilizing that same data source. So that's a difference, right? Now, which means filters are subject to what option we choose, but group, set, and calculated field will be applicable to that particular data source. Now, anywhere in the workbook, if you go, you will see parameters and sets everywhere across the workbook. However, sets will not appear if your data source is different, right? I'm selecting a different data source. You don't see those sets here. Sets are gone, right? So this is another difference. It can be asked in the interviews also, right? Now, another thing is parameters. Parameters are applicable across workbook irrespective of your data source, irrespective of the kind of chart you are using, irrespective of the dashboards, like as many dashboards you create, it will appear across all the workbooks in the all the worksheets in your workbook. Fine. So parameters again. Uh, See what happens in the filters. We talked about the other day that filters can have direct values from your field. So let's say if for a category filter you select all from the list, or you selected use all. If it is use all, whenever your data will change, your filter will automatically get updated, right? But that is not the case for parameters. Anup, are you aware of this?
Yes, yes, I am aware. Because in
Right.
parameter we are not using any field from our data.
No, we do use sometimes, right? For example, you see here, it's a parameter, current year, add from field. So it will ask you like which data source and which field you're talking about, right? But
Okay.
it is while creation you can use that thing. As soon as the parameter is created, there is no link between your that field and uh, this parameter. Those
Okay.
field will be taken as a value over here, and they will store for this particular parameter. In case your data changes, there will be no impact on this parameter's value,
Okay.
right? It's entirely different once created. So that's why we generally, I mean, you might have seen like all the parameters we have created so far, we have given our we have given our own values over here, right? So just to repeat it last time, sets no, sets, calculated fields and groups will applicable to that particular data source, but parameters will be applicable to the complete workbook.
Okay.
Right. Now let's go ahead and talk about the agenda what we had. So we added one dashboard, one sheet here. So we were talking about the difference between worksheet and dashboard. So sheet, I think we are good at it right now. I'll just delete it. We'll add one dashboard. Now, if you see here, as soon as we have added dashboard, this is a new sheet or area got added. It says drop sheets here, and drop sheets here, which means these are your individual sheets. You can drag them onto this particular area. All the sheets which you see in your workbook, right? But apart from that there are several other options which you can use before dragging your objects into this particular chart area. Now, this is the place what will be kind of shared with the people or end users. You can share your individual sheets also, but this is the place where, this is a combined place wherein you will be dropping your objects and then sharing it with the end users. So, which means all the kind of, formatting and different other options you need to apply over here. So, we'll go ahead and kind of do some little bit overview of these sheets. For example, okay, we'll cover these things layouts later on, because Tableau gives you feature or option to create dashboards specific to the device. So for example, I just selected phone. You can create a dashboard for phone devices. Like you can if you will open that dashboards on your phone, it will screen fit, or you will not have any problem. You will be able to navigate between one object or one sheet to another, right? So this is the screen size for phone. Similarly, like for okay, so similarly you have like for tabs and all, you can see here these are options are there. So we can go to these options one by one. These are related to all phone models. You can see here. If you go by tablet, you can see different options over here for tablet. So these are different tab options. Similarly, desktop or default will be kind of whatever you create here. Now, in my case, generally I go for this particular option wherein I kind of fix the size of our screen, and we can give the width and height. So I will take 1200 or 1300 as width, and height is what you can play with, because you can give the vertical scroll to anybody, right? Now if you see, like earlier there was one a line or the grid out area, but now you don't see that. It's a complete white space which can be shared on the screen. So that's why, for keeping desktop and laptop in mind, I select 1300 as a width most of the time. Other than this, I'll kind of go ahead and add title to my dashboard. That's here. You can give any name. So I'll just give a name over here. We'll say summary sample superstore, because that's a data what we are using. And on top of that, we can definitely format or maybe give some color to this particular title. Format title. And over here we can select, okay, I don't want the complete background color. So in that case, I will say no. I'll select only, the color for my title. So like this. And within this, we would be able to kind of have borders to it. So right. Now the object here, the container below this, we can drag our objects. So under this, you have two options, tiled and floating, right? I generally follow, the floating approach. I don't go by tile, right? But for this particular moment, I'll show you both that what is the difference. Right now it is tiled and I'm going to drag one object. For example, let's say cross table, right? This is the one cross table which I have dragged over here. I can drag some other object also. For example, let's say area chart. If I dragged it, now you'll see like automatically Tableau is adjusting both the sheets in the available area, right? You can drag one more thing. For example, let's say pie chart. See, Tableau is automatically trying to adjust all the objects, which may not look good or very, aligned at this moment, but Tableau automatically adjusts these things. That is what we call as tiled format. Now I'll tell that why I don't go for this. This is my personal, um, opinion, or you can say practice. It's not the standard one, but I don't go by this because once you try to kind of align all the sheets, you will face a lot of a problem if it is tiled. I go by floating, and the flexibility what I get in terms of floating, you can drag any object wherever you want, right? See, it's not adjusting anything. Everything is free float right now. Now, I understand it will take little more time to adjust and align all these things, but you have all the flexibility to put objects wherever you want. So what I will do, I'll drag, let's say, pie chart over here. Then we can take maybe, let's say, area plot at this side. And in between, if you want, you can have any other chart. Okay, let's remove this pie chart and take donut. Right. Keeping the best practice in mind, generally people ask like go for the grid view of objects into dashboard. Grid view, basically you can have small objects at the top and then kind of follow a pattern. So let's say if you divided your dashboard complete area into 4 portions, you can have objects aligned in a row or column. That will be a better approach, right, for alignment of objects in the dashboard. Now another thing related to the coordinates x and y. So for example, my donut chart is over here, I can definitely align it by height. So it is a y-axis. Let's say if it is on 49, I'll give the same thing for my area chart also, 49, so that height wise they are aligned. In case you want to align the width also, when I say alignment, basically you can have a similar kind of width. So it is 612 and this is 654. If you're okay, that's fine. Otherwise you can change that too. Now another thing is like the height of this particular object is 264 and for area chart it is 280. So I'll change it to 264 only so that the height of both objects are same, right? But now one thing is there, if you see Darshan and Anup, I mean, if I show like this over here, if you see for donut I have a border into my objects and for area chart I don't. What would you prefer in this situation? Should we put border for both or should we remove border for both? What would be your approach?
Remove border for both.
Remove both. What do you say, Anup?
Mm, no, it depends. If I'm keeping border for entire thing, for example, even for head the titles, summary, super story, you have kept the border. So if it is
Mhm.
going in sync with the flow of your entire thing, I'll keep it or I'll take it out. So I'll try to maintain
Yeah,
the theme across.
right. I mean, see, first and foremost, you need to follow the same approach, right? Darshan, as Darshan also mentioned, like remove it for both, right? So I will not say like remove for both. What I would say, very first thing, if you want to keep the borders, keep it for all the objects. Or if you don't want, don't keep it for some of the objects. Remove all across, right? But you need to see, you need to mention, I mean, you need to be careful of whatever information you are showing, that information should not look jumbled up. Which means over here, if you see like area chart, because we created it so we know like this area chart is basically the title of this particular chart, right? But in case you don't use borders, you might get confused if things are just going here and there, right? So it depends on the approach what you are following. If you're using border, keep it for everything. If you're not, then please remove it from all the objects. Now another thing would be like use better colors for your dashboard, right? And on top of that, uh, for whom you are creating the dashboard makes or plays important role. Are you getting this point? For whom you are creating the dashboard plays important role. What does this mean?
And some people have like color blindness. They won't see the colors. They cannot recognize the colors basically.
Mm, color blindness, actually, yeah, we can definitely, we need to think about that. But even before going to that thing, what is your audience, right? In an organization, generally we create dashboards for different hierarchies. So if you are creating, let's say, how I'm telling you for hierarchy, it's a reporting process or data analytics process what we are doing over here, right? Now, if the, a production team member is going to look at the dashboard, right? What would they focus on? Any idea? What I'm asking is, if let's say somebody who's working in a production environment and he want to look at the report, what are the things they'll focus on?
In terms of what means like data or growth of the database.
Okay, let's take a scenario, right? In a company, in an organization, let's say there is a production team there is a supervisor, and there is a CEO of company. 3 people are there, right? Now you need to do some reporting work. Now, what type of report you will create keeping production team in mind? What type of report you will create keeping supervisors in mind? And what type of report you will create keeping CEO in mind?
For CEOs, it is more of a overview reports which they can just look at it and understand without making much changes in the dashboard means basic filters. Whereas for production team or probably an analyst, more
Mhm.
of an exhaustive report where we can even get in scatter plot or box plot, that
Mhm.
kind of data where they are capable able to understand that kind of data with more of functionality within to play around.
Okay. What about supervisor level?
Supervisor level, I can say a mix of both because if they're technically sound or they're aware about how to play around with
Mhm.
uh, dashboard, we can make a mixed report where we have exhaustive data at some point and also an overview data.
Right. But if I, go in details, don't you think, like, let's say if some let's say I'm a team member, right, and I'm looking at the report, I would like to see that how I am going, what how many, maybe let's say I'm processing claims, how many claims I processed yesterday, how many errors I did yesterday, right? I'll be kind of, as a team member, I'll be focusing on mostly, the KPIs or the measures which are applicable to an individual, right? Because maybe if you are in a production team, your incentives, your salary is linked with your individual KPIs, correct? Right. So if you are creating a dashboard for a production or maybe operational teams, you need to give granular level of detail so that individual can go and see the data and they will see their performance, right? But in case you are creating it for a supervisor, supervisor should have, view wherein they can see the overall performance of the team, how on a team level they are doing it, right? Definitely they would need, kind of drill down so that they can drill it down to a particular agent or a team member. But on high level they would need to focus on the team level performance, so that whether, one or two team members are not doing good, but overall team performance should be kind of in a good shape so that they can track it and they can get, they can work on it, right? Whereas for CEO, the focus will be on high level, as Anup you mentioned. They would focus on the very high level summary wherein they can see, okay, overall their business is doing good, right? Or in case there is some problem, which team that problem is coming from, so they can connect to that supervisor, right? Or in case, let's say, they want to investigate it more or get into the details, then definitely they can go for a drill down, and from team and then team to a particular agent they can go to, right? But on the first glimpse, in the first view, the view should be very high level summary for CEOs or leadership, uh, team level information for supervisors or middle management, and row level records or granular level information for agents or operational teams, correct? That should be your planning while creating a dashboard. So it is very important to know who are the end users for your dashboard or reports, right? Another thing, in any dashboard, irrespective of your audience, I follow a three-layered approach. When I say three-layered approach, in the first layer, I would like to give you objects or the charts which are showing the high-level summary, right? Which means the focus, like you can say 360-degree view or maybe leadership view. So the first two objects or three objects should have very high level information. For example, if I give you this donut chart over here, right, and it tells you that in different years how your different categories were performing. So like orange, which says office supplies, it was kind of, I would say, yeah, it was kind of less in 2017 and 18. Then again, there was little hike in 2019. But 2016, it was max. Same goes with furniture, right? So this shows you that summary. But as you go further, definitely basis the drill down, you can see other informations. So at this moment, let me just go ahead and kind of add. Was there any question? Okay, I'll go back there. So now, as of now, I have removed the title from both of the sheets, but I think it's good to show the title. Okay, first I'm ready. What I'll do, I'll just move this particular table because it is showing the detailed information. I'll drag it in the bottom. It should be with the last object in the sheet. Okay, so what I was just trying to do over here, if you see under these, any option what you drag over the dashboard, in any sheet you get some other options. For example, go to sheet. If you follow this one, you will directly land up to that sheet what you have dragged here. For example, this, I'm on the sheet now from the dashboard. Other options like duplicate sheet. So you can have as soon as you click on duplicate sheet, what will happen in this workbook, the sheet will get created twice. I mean, another copy of the sheet will get created. Fit, right now it is entire view. You can go for different other options. So for example, I think width. So what it did, sorry, we did fit height. So whatever height this object had, that height has been fixed automatically, right? Similarly, you can go for width. This is the view. Or if you go for a standard one, that is this again. See, standard view is nothing but what you see over here, like this. Its actual size. That is what you can see there. If you make it entire view, you will see all the elements on this particular chart. And that is what is exactly happening over here in this particular dashboard at this moment. So we'll go ahead and select again and keep the entire view, so that though objects will be small, but you will be able to see everything whichever is there on your dashboard. Uh, Another thing, like for example, for area, over here, what was the important thing? Your ears. And then what you are showing different subcategories. So each line, for that purpose only, I have dragged it or we dragged its subcategory into the tooltip so that end users can see the trend of different categories, right? Now, one thing here, the second option which you see, use as a filter. This filter is basically, as soon as you will select this option, this complete sheet, which means anything on this particular sheet donut, will be used as a filter for other objects in the dashboard, right? So let me drag few more objects and then let's use and see this. I'll kind of move the area chart down here. We can align the x-axis for this. So it starts from 12. This starts from 12 and the last object starts from 8. I'll make it 12 so that left side everything is aligned. And for width also, for donut I have 612. Let's say do it 620. We'll keep the same 620 for everything. Even for this, I'll make it 620. Right? Now the another object which I wanted to drag here, let's say take it forecast. We can put that here and map that we will drag over here. So remember height. For this it was 264. For this I'll 264 again. For forecast I don't have borders. Let me add border quickly. Of course, title, that will be kind of 12 like this. Format title. We'll go back to dashboard and that you can see here. I don't need this tooltip. And for this, for my area chart, I have height of 264. For this also, I'll keep it as 264. For this, my width is 651. I'll do this also 651. Right, so now these things are aligned as of now. So if you see in these objects as of now, like first two object talks about the very high level summary, how your donut is talking about the different categories, and this level this level talks about your country level information, geographical level information. Let me remove this. Right. And the second chart, second layer, it's basically trend, the current trend, and the forecasting, right? And in the lower trend, we can have detailed information. So as of now, we are showing it like this. Let me kind of go to this particular sheet. We don't have any other options. Let me bring some other table if we have. Yeah, I believe no, we don't have any dates over here. Otherwise, we would have dragged this forecast action. Okay, fine. Let's keep this cross table only. I'll drag another sheet called top versus bottom. Okay, so layout. For this particular object, my Y is 583. I'll keep this also 583. And same goes with height. So 408, it's 408. I think we should be fine now. Okay, out of these objects, right, this is one of the dashboard which we just kind of aligned the object so far, nothing much. But okay, let me do the width also. It is 651. 651. Right. So first layer talks about the detailed summary, sorry, high level summary. Second talks about the trend, or gives you little more information. And the third layer gives you cross table, gives you the granular information, row level record. You still can have further granular level information which we don't have right now. And this second chart, what we have used in the last layer, which is top versus bottom, this can be used in the second layer also. So you will get top or bottom states by profit. So this chart can be used in the second layer also, depending on the requirement. Now I'll go to that option what I was talking about. Like on each sheet, the second option which you get as use as filter. Now this options allow you to use this particular sheet as filter, which means as soon as you select it, right, and then you go ahead and select any object inside this workbook, or sorry, this sheet. So what will happen? All other objects in this particular dashboard will get filtered out for that particular object or field what you selected, right? What I'm trying to say is, let's say this is office supplies of 2017. Office supplies of 2017. If I just click over here, right, you can see all other objects are showing that type of information only. They got filtered out. Even in the forecast also, if you see, you will be able to see data only for 2017 at this moment. Starting from, I mean, the last date will be of 2016 and until here, December 2017. Forecast is for 2018, so that's fine. That's the forecast, not the actual data. Same goes with area chart. It's all about, subcategories under office supplies, right? Office supplies is a category. Under that you have subcategories, so it is related to all subcategories of office supplies and for 2017. If you go here, you will see your details related to, okay, let me change it like this. So you will see the detailed information of year 2017 only for sales and profit. For office supplies, again, only subcategories related to office supplies. And in the last chart, top versus bottom, you will see all the states by profit for 2017, right? So everything is filtered for office supplies and 2017 data, right? So that is one level of kind of looking at it. I'll just double click again. It will go back into the original state, right?
Which feature did you activate it for this?
Just this, use as a filter,
Okay.
right? But what happened in backend? Because of this use, what happened in the backend? How data was getting filtered? Any idea? Where can we go and see that? See, for business users, it is fine. I mean, I just clicked on it, my filter is working. I don't care what is happening in the backend. But as a technical folk or as a person who has developed this dashboard, you should know like what is happening. And in case you need to make any changes, let's say I want all the sheets to be filtered, but I don't want my forecast to get affected because of this filter. What should I do in that case?
No, we have another option to select the sheets that you want to filter on particular sheet.
Mhm. What is that?
If you click on the down arrow,
Down arrow. Okay.
then you have filter.
Filters. Are you talking about this?
Uh, no, we don't have option here. For example, on any particular sheet, if we have a filter which you have removed right now,
Hmm.
and if we use those filters can be applied on the sheets that we want. We can select the sheets on which those filter will work.
Right. So basically, you are talking about that feature. Right. You're talking about that feature what we enabled by putting categories onto the filters card.
Yes.
That was this only,
Hmm.
right? So this definitely can be applied anywhere by using these options.
Hmm.
What else? What is the other way of controlling this? See, basically, in other words, what I want,
Ac- Action filters.
right? I added this filter, right? I said use this sheet as a filter. That is what I added. And my focus is on this only. I want you to know where it got added. In case you need to make changes, how would you do that, right? That thing you can see in the action filters. That's what we pointed out at this
Hmm.
moment. So you need to go to dashboard, click on action filters, actions, and over here you will see filter one, generated, sheet, source, everything, right? It's the only filter which we just added by clicking on this funnel icon automatically.
Okay.
Okay. As soon as I go here, let's say over here, if I do this states, I go back again, you will see two things over there, right? So it is automatically, Tableau is automatically adding these filters, action filters by this option.
Okay. So that option itself means an action filter.
Exactly, right? Now, how can you edit it? That's what we are going to talk about now. So, I mean, I'll talk about these other options later, but at this moment, let's say you select any of these filters, edit it, you'll get this another window or pop up. It shows that your source sheet is summary sample superstore dashboard. And on that dashboard, you have these many sheets at this moment. So area chart, cross table, donut, forecast, map, and top versus bottom, right? 6 sheets. That is what we have put onto the dashboard. Now, out of that, so source sheet is donut. By selecting donut sheet, I want all other sheets to be filtered. That's why I have checked all the sheets. right? Over here it is selected, select option, and then show all the values. And this is all fields at this time, right? Let's say in case I uncheck my forecast and click OK. And now if you go here and select anything, all other sheets will get filtered except your forecast. There will not be any change or impact on forecast. See, it's clear. Any questions, Anup, Darshan?
Can I repeat it once again, please? The filter which you action filter.
Yeah. So what I said, under action filters over here, I edited the first one, right? And
First means this
in
is a geographic map filter, right?
okay, when we added this geographical map as a filter, this second thing was getting added. So if I edit this one, you will see here map is selected as a source sheet and
Okay.
target sheets are everything, all other,
Okay.
right? But I edited the top one, the first one. So over here, we simply said check my donut, and out of this I unchecked forecast, which means this filter will be applicable to all other sheets except forecast,
Okay.
right? On forecast, my filter will not be applicable, but other sheets will get impacted because of this particular filter. So that is what is happening over here right now. You
Okay.
can keep selecting different objects. Other things will change, but forecast will not have any impact, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Now there could be a question. The question could be, let's say I selected this office supplies, right? Now on this particular chart or other charts, you can say except forecast at this moment, I selected office supplies. Maybe I want to know the details related to office supplies in all other sheets, but for all the years. I don't want it to be filtered for 2017. Can that
Mhm.
be a real ask? That can
Yes.
be asked, right? Right?
Yes.
Because what is happening right now, it only shows to 2017, right? Maybe I just simply want to see the trend of 2017. Sorry, I want to see the trend of office supplies over here in different years that I don't see now because it shows only 2017 data, right? Maybe
Yes.
over here in top to bottom, I would like to know all my states by profit in the entire historical time period. I don't want it only for 2017. This is only for 2017 at this moment, right? So using filter, basically using this action filter only, how can you implement that? I'll go ahead into dashboards, actions, edit the same filter once again, and over here at the place of all fields, I'll specify the field through which I want my filter to work, right? And what I want only category to be applicable everywhere, not the year. Okay, I'll repeat again. I want only category to be implemented as a filter for all the sheets, not the year. Okay,
Okay.
so in that case, was there any question?
No.
Okay, so in that case, I'll go to selected fields, add filter, and over here I'll select that field called category. Same thing will automatically get selected into target. If it is not, you can click on this drop down and select that particular field which is related to the field selected for the source, data source and sheet, right? So in source and target, you need to map that field through which you want to filter, through which you want filter to work. You can select that field over here. It will be added like this. You can say OK and OK further. Now if you go back and let's say you select furniture. See, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20, only furniture categories. Over here also 16, 17, 16, 17, 18, 19, only for furniture and related subcategories. Is it clear? Any doubts, questions?
No.
Okay. Darshan, any questions to you?
So in the map, how can we show means it's been filtered correctly, with 2016, 17, 18, 19?
Can you please repeat? I mean, your voice I couldn't get.
In the map, how can we
Mhm.
identify that it's been showing like 16, 17, 18, 19 data?
You mean in map you're talking about?
Mhm.
See, map, actually we are not showing it by year, right? So whatever
So,
number you see, it's a consolidated number, right?
so,
But yes, what you can see, how can you see? See, in California, you are getting right now the running sum of profit is 82,000 and sales is 475,000.
mhm.
As soon as you select anything, that number will get impacted,
Okay.
right? See, because it is not by year, that's why you are getting it like this.
Okay.
But but see, you have that flexibility. You can go to that particular map, and if you wish, you can, sorry, map, this one. Maybe I don't know how you will show different years over here, but maybe we can put something like this, right? So color by year. Right now you can see 3-4 colors over here. Let me show
Mm.
legend also so that it will be clear. Show card, reset cards. And on dashboard, you can go here, show legends, color legend. Okay, so in case you select anything, let's say office supplies 2018, right? So still you can see all the years. It's not changing by year,
Okay.
right? But if you go to that action filter and let's say action filter, first one, edit, and over here if you add your field, year field once again, let's say order date. Okay, not 8. I'll go to under order date. See, for all the date fields, what it shows, you have order date, and then under order date, you have all different, derivatives of date. So it is year, quarter, month, day, week, all the formats. I need to
Mm.
select years.
Mm.
Same thing will go here also. So you can do that and okay. So now you can see if I selected 2018, office supplies, so only 2018 is there, right? Except forecast, everywhere you will see only 1818.
Okay.
If it is 17, you will see 17. 16, 16, but another category. So that's how can you, you can control these different options from action filter, right? I'll select again all field and leave it as it is. Now, going back to further more options. So actions, under action, you see here, filter, highlight, go to URL, go to sheet, change parameter, and change set values, right? So these type of action filters are available within dashboards. So right now we were just looking at the filter. Whatever we saw as of now, that was filter, the first option, right? Whatever we saw so far, that's the filter option what we were playing into. Now further to that, we'll go back to again filter option. Over here, we had option to look for the dashboard. It's a dashboard only, right? Summary, sample, superstore. Because it's a drop down, it gives you feature or flexibility to apply filters from one dashboard to another dashboard also, right? Which means whatever action filter you apply here and do the proper setting, those filters will be applicable to other sheets, other dashboards also. You can see other dashboard. I have two dashboards right now in my workbook. One is dashboard one and another is summary, right? Dashboard one is what? Dashboard one was where we created this parameter, Pareto versus group, right? So that's the dashboard one. Now, in case you want to see that whether that is applicable to this or not, you can apply some filter, and then you can see accordingly that how your data is changing. So maybe we can, okay, let's do it like this. So from here, dashboard one, I'll go to dashboard one, add a new filter, and dashboard one, I have only two sheets, group or Pareto. So for example, I selected, let's say groups, right? I don't want all the parameters, all the filters to be working on all the sheets. I'll select simply groups and I'll select dashboard number two. On dashboard number two, I have all these sheets. So from groups, I want to filter data on my dashboard. Second, by all the fields, right? I'll select, okay, again, these options, hover, select, and menu. So if you select hover, what will happen? As soon as you will move your cursor, mouse pointer to that particular object, filter will automatically execute. You need not to right click or you need not to click anywhere, right? In case you go to this select option, you need to kind of right click menu, you need to, double click the way I have been doing it, through which that filter will get executed. You can have, this option run on single select only. So single click and it will work. As soon as you select, it will automatically work. So you have that option. The menu is like as soon as you will click, then menu will appear, you will click on menu and then that filter will work. So these three options are there in order to execute your filter on different objects. So at this moment, I'll go for the select one because that seems very easy for the end users. So I'll keep that only. See, hover should not be used a lot because what will happen, like normally what happens, looking at the objects, you move your mouse. So if it is hover based, right, hover based, as soon as you will, your mouse filters will work, and maybe I'm not sure that what KPI you were looking at, it will change automatically. So that need to be avoided. Sometime it will look very irritating to the users. So select is the better one. And menu, again, keeping that thing in mind, like changing data, menu is the best one, but again it requires additional clicks. So that's why we say that select one is the best one. Then leave the filter, show all the values or exclude all the values. So basically these are the simple, you can say include exclude feature of a filter, wherein leave the filters. So let's say things are already selected in that object, it will remove all those filters. Remove in the sense filters will still be there, but data, it will show the complete data, right? Show all the values. That is what we are doing right now. So basis which, I mean, whatever value we select, basis that it shows the other values or filters out. Exclude all the values. So basically whatever we select, that will get excluded from other sheets or the target sheets, right? Excluded means, let's say we have, a lot of categories into the data, right? Furniture or office supplies or other things. So if I say select office supplies and go for this option exclude all, so office supplies will get excluded from all the sheets. Only two categories will appear, office supplies and the other one. So these features, 99% cases will go with show all value only, right? But this option over here, what we discussed, selected fields and all fields, that will keep changing. It depends on your requirement, right? So for this, there is no as such hard and fast rule. Now let's go ahead and add this filter. You can change the name of filter if you want, right? I have added from dashboard 1 to dashboard 2. We'll say okay and okay. So I added it from groups to, let's say I select a group called paper, right? So I just clicked on that thing once again. Automatically this dashboard 2 got open, and over here I think everything is selected for paper. See, papers, top bottom for papers, even forecast for paper, because we selected forecast sheet also. So it is showing all years data, but it is showing only for paper.
So can we disable that option of clicking and redirecting, or it is meant for that purpose only?
I didn't get. Can you repeat your question?
No, on the first dashboard you click on paper and it redirected to this particular dashboard, right?
Yes, yes.
Can we disable that, or it is designed and meant to be like that only?
No, no, no. So see, we went through the several options, right? What I meant is, let's say action. Sorry, I need to go on dashboard 1 and then action. See over here, we selected this this option. Don't select this in that case if you don't want to move. Just keep it menu and say okay. Right. So what will happen? You keep on right clicking, nothing will happen. Just a
But
minute. You are no. You are still
data,
on.
yeah,
You,
but data there is changing.
no, data will definitely change. Category, subcategory. You need to be careful while click also. What I did, I just kept on clicking. It got added into the filters for this particular dashboard only. So what I'm saying is, you need to just click over here, right? This menu appears. Until unless you won't click on this menu, filter 1, you will not get redirected to the other dashboard. As soon as you click here, then you will get redirected to this one.
Okay.
Right. And
Now go
definitely,
back, go back to that first dashboard.
Yep.
Now you just click here and don't click on that first filter. Select
See,
it.
yeah, I just
Now,
clicked. Mhm.
without clicking on filter one, if you directly go to the other dashboard manually,
Yeah.
the data is not changed yet.
See,
Uh,
over here, oh, yes, yes, you are right. Over here, if you see our filter, right, it is based out of menu,
Menu. It
right?
is giving you a menu option. Yeah.
Yeah, until unless you will not click on menu, data will not filter, right? Over here, what was happening? I mean, you might have seen like let's say I double clicked. I'm still on the same dashboard. It is like the filter for this particular sheet got added. I'll go to this sheet. If you see subcategory filter got added only for storage. Edit filters. See,
Hmm.
that is what I've said that you need to avoid, right? But this filter will, I mean, between dashboards will get executed only if you click on menu, if it is menu based.
Hmm.
Okay, and mouse hovers, as I said, that it can be irritating sometimes. So as soon as you put your mouse here, see, I didn't even click. It automatically kind of moved me there, right? So those are the things. No, but I don't think the filter worked, right? Does it work?
No, it
Let's say,
didn't.
let's say something is happening. I don't think filter worked properly, right? Let's see what is happening. So let's say appliances,
It was applied for a initial second.
but why it is removing?
Maybe you have to, in the target sheet, we have to change the option.
Okay, okay. No, I got it. I got it. What is happening? Basically, hover is like by the time your pointer will remain on that particular object, that filter will be applicable,
Yes.
right? As soon as your pointer moves from that particular object, that filter will automatically get removed, right? So from one dashboard to another, it is definitely, I would say, not recommended at this moment. What I will say, go here on the same object, let's put it. So over here, I'll say hover, donut, right? Yeah, see if you wish. So over here, let's say if I select this, filter is working. I'll move my mouse, go to some other pointers. See, whatever I put my mouse on, filter for that will work. And as soon as I move my mouse, it will get removed. I'm not clicking, it's simple just movement of mouse pointer. Fair enough?
Yes.
All right. Any question till now? We saw how can we apply this filter action from one dashboard to another, from one sheet to another, right? And what are the different other options over here? And how can you apply basis one field or multiple fields? And definitely the beauty of floating and tiled layout, right? So far we applied this filter only on one sheet. Let's say you can use your top to bottom also as a filter. So over here, let's say if I select Georgia, I want to see the data of Georgia everywhere. See, in map it's Georgia. for all other years, forecast related to Georgia, and area chart, definitely the cross table related to Georgia, and only the Georgia over here. Right. Let's do one more thing. When we say drill down, right? I want data for California 2016 to be filtered for all the sheets. What happened?
Sorry?
I want data of California to be filtered in all other sheets. Right. Just wait a minute. I'll go here. Sorry. On the dashboard itself, I wanted to show different level of filters actually. So use it as filters. First of all, I will select this is related to donut all, select, fine. I'll just remove the last filter which got added. This is, I believe, from map. No, this is from top to bottom. This is from map to all other sheets, select and okay. And then this is for hover. I'll change this to select and we'll say all the fields. Fine. So now three filters which are applicable over here. One from donut to all other sheets, one from map to all other sheets, and one from top to bottom all other sheets. Right. So first of all, in my donut chart, I will select, let's say 2017 and office supplies. Data got filtered in all other sheets. I want a particular state where I want to do the analysis. I can see like California has a maximum sales at this moment in 2017. I'll go ahead and select my state called California. Accordingly, all other objects will get filtered only for California at this moment. So the forecast of data in California, then how different subcategories are performing over there, and of course, the data related to sales and profit in California. You can drill it down further to quarter, months, or weeks also, right? So that is what you can see, the detailed information related to office supplies. But one thing over here in this table, it shows data for all, right? Office supplies, technology, furniture. So that you can check like why it is showing for all in this particular table. Binders, accessories, phones, by going to the action filter once again. So the last one we applied top to bottom. Okay, you need to specify that field actually. Because out of this sheet, as soon as we selected California, I think it started showing everything. But before that, it's still not applicable. It shows everything, all three categories. Dashboard, action, first filters, donut, show all the values, all the fields, select. Okay, it's fine at this moment. If I select this, okay, got it. See what is happening over here. Can anybody tell me?
Probably second
No?
filter is not working on the basis of the first filter. The
Right,
second
because
filter is working separately as an individual filter.
right. So whatever you are selecting at a particular moment, right? the previous filter is kind of getting override,
Override, yeah.
right? So at a moment, only one filter is kind of working. Either your donut charts filter will work or the maps filter will work. So whatever
The
you select, so
latest one will work.
right, correct. So that is what is happening. Now, other than this, let's say I'll go to action once again. What is the use of the second option? What you see here, highlight.
It will not filter it out, it will highlight the data. So for example, if I'm using bar graphs and
Mhm.
the bar is only for, there are four graphs for 4 different years, and I'm
Mhm.
selecting 2016 in donut chart,
Mhm.
only 2016 bar into bar graph will be highlighted, rest it will be faded out.
Right, correct. So let's see if I do it once. I'll uncheck everything. We'll keep donut.
We have to select donut in target also. If we don't select donut in target, will not that work?
Donut in target. No, we can skip that. Right, we can skip that. All the fields and like this.
Because I have
Okay.
experience in some scenarios not work.
Yeah. See, it will kind of, disturb your view. Over here, it's a kind of high. Now there are two filters. I need to remove the first one. So if it is this, what is getting highlighted and what's not? Okay. On map, it looks fine to me because in map, it shows all other elements, but only highlights what I'm selecting. In table also, it is fine. 2016, it gets highlighted. See,
Mm.
best is in map and tables. So though we have all other things, all other years, but it will highlight only what I have selected. Right?
But it
This is
should
the
have
map.
worked on forecast also.
Yeah, I selected the forecast
But it just doesn't appearing.
because we don't have that kind of field over here. So right, I'm clicking on office supplies. Do we have
Okay.
any representation of office supplies here? Right, we don't
No.
have. So that's why even in the top versus bottom, it is not working.
Mm.
And the same thing goes for area chart also. So because that common field doesn't appear in these three charts, it doesn't seems to be working, right? Wherever we have exact values, either 2016 or that category, it shows or highlights that data. It's not filtering out, it's just highlighting because it is highlighted. So maybe this can be used for the presentations wherein let's say you are presenting the dashboard and you have objects in terms of, which can be shown on all the charts, then you can use the highlighters. So I'll kind of remove it at this moment. What is go to URL?
Web URL.
Yeah. So go to URL basically it can be any URL. So generally it is used, let's say, okay, let me cancel this and talk about one use case. You remember when we created from this dashboard and came onto this dashboard, right? Let's say you have 4 or 5 dashboards. As a user, I mean, you created the flow from one dashboard to another, but as an end user, would you like, let's say you got navigated to this dashboard, now you want to go back to the home page or the very first dashboard where you came from? You would like that view, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. What I'm trying to say is, let's say you have a master page. Now from that page, you came here. You saw, you did some analysis. Again, you want to go back to the master page and see other visualizations. Right.
Navigation both ways.
Right. It can be both ways, or let's say you have multiple dashboards. So maybe you would like to do kind of, to and fro, like from one dashboard to another, from second dashboard to third one, third to first, or first to fourth. So those type of, kind of landing page or a navigation between multiple dashboards. Right. That thing you can implement. How would you implement? You need to think about it. We'll discuss tomorrow. I mean, the next session. Right. But yes, I can just give you a hint that it will be done using action filter only. Right. So think about that. We'll discuss on Monday. With that, to the point what I was saying, URL, right? This use case, which what we just gave to think about, will happen if you have all the dashboards in one workbook. For example, this is my one dashboard and this is my second dashboard. The scenario will be applicable if you have only one workbook. In case in an organization, let's say there are 10 dashboards, 10 different workbooks, 10 different projects. Now from this workbook or from this particular project, you want to go to some other Tableau project or workbook, which is deployed on Tableau servers. So for those scenarios, you can use action filter and go to URL, right? You can open any web page also like google.com or anything. So all that is possible by selecting a particular sheet through which you want to get navigated. So let's say if I say maybe forecast, right? I'll say select. Let's say give menu, not select. Over here, you can give some web URL. Let's say www.google.com, right? You can test that URL and you can say OK. So what will happen as soon as you come here, you saw something, then you right click over here. Sorry, hyperlink and click on it. It will open google.com, right? See scenarios where it can be used basically. Let's say you created this forecast. In this scenario I'm talking about, let's say you created this forecast, but there are people who doesn't understand that what are the KPIs, what is the equation, what is defined over here. So maybe you can give one note over here, like for more details click here, and then it will navigate to the required URL, maybe URL wherein you have details related to forecasting model and all, right? So in those scenarios you can use. Or there could be another use case. For example, you have created office supplies and an all. There is another dashboard which is already published by other team with the detailed related to office supplies and all, right? So with this particular option, action filter, hyperlink, you can over here, you can create your dynamic URL and pass the parameters also. Do you understand parameter here? Anup?
I'm trying to relate it or make a sense.
Okay, let me try. I don't know whether it will work or not. Let's say google.com, I put India. Let's see what happens. India is the value what I have just hard coded right now. No, it's not working. Okay, it didn't work.
No.
But what I'm trying to say is by using parameter, let's say there is a dashboard which can be filtered out by several values. So you can pass those values from your actual dashboard where you are at this moment, right click, and as soon as you will get to that URL, automatically that thing will be filtered out. Basically, through URLs, you can pass your parameters and filter the values. And that is why the test link is given, because over here you can do that. See, it says multiple values, and also you can pass multiple values also. That thing is possible, right? But it will work only in case of URLs. Other things will be like go to sheet. So likewise, we were able to kind of go to from one dashboard to another. Similarly, you can go to from one dashboard to a particular sheet, or you can go to another dashboard and a particular sheet on that dashboard. For example, over here, if I apply this, sorry, go to sheet. From either of these sheets, if I follow the option, I want to go to my another dashboard, which is summary sample store. And okay, this is the dashboard at this moment. Let's say I want to go to bubble chart. I'll select that sheet, click OK, and say further OK. So if I select any filter, or if I click on any of the bars here, it will take me to the bubble chart, right? In the drop down, I could have selected the dashboard. So it will take me to that particular dashboard. What I did, I selected a particular sheet. So it landed me on a particular sheet, which is bubble. So over here, you can select anything, wherever you want your dashboard to take you through this filter option of go to sheet. Now change parameter is basically changing the values of parameters, right? What is your target parameter and what value you want to apply, right? So using this thing, you can change the values of parameters also. So for example, this particular, right? Let me come here on this particular dashboard. From here, I want to kind of go change the value of parameters. Say group or Pareto I have, right? So let's say donut. I will say change the value of this parameter, which is group versus Pareto. And over here, aggregation minimum maximum. No. Okay. So in this scenario, it will not work, because it will work in only those scenarios wherein your value is coming from a particular data field itself. Anup, you remember the point when he said that our parameters cannot be directly linked to a particular field. I mean, they will not always get updated. So it is that scenario only. So in this scenario, under group and Pareto, we have our customized value like group or Pareto. But in case you got some values from out of your year only, for example, current year, if I say, and sample superstore aggregation minimum maximum, no, this, if any of the values for your parameter is coming from the data itself, then you can use this option. But if you have customized values, you cannot use this option.
So you meant to say a parameter and particularly any field or any calculated field is part of that view, then only we can use it.
No. So let me tell you what I want to say. On this dashboard, we have this parameter, right?
Group or
Under
Pareto.
group operator, under this, I have two values. One is group, another is Pareto, right? These values are our defined values. They were not there in the database anyways, right? Neither these are coming from any particular field. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say if these values you got from some of the field, like any database or anything, right? In that case, you can utilize that option to change the values,
Okay.
right? But if it is not customized values, then you will not be able to change, right? Because if it is customized values, then you do it from here, that filter will not, sorry, that parameter will not work. Darshan, does that make sense? Okay, let's move ahead. The last option is related to change set values. So over here, I have these sets which are already created on this particular dashboard. So basically, dashboard, these sets will be applicable to the entire workbook because we are using only one data source right now. So let's say if you want to change values, keep set values, add all the values to set, remove all the values to set. So this is similar to option top 5. Okay, this is similar to option when we used to drag a set on filter condition. Bars, dynamic measure, top versus bottom. Okay, so over here, this was a set. If you see here, either you can get all the values, or what happens in some cases, you get in and out, right? Whether you want all the values of filtered set to be shown, or you don't want all the to be shown. You just want only in values like conditions which follow the criteria. So it is for those situations, in and out, right? We can implement these in details as we go. Because we still have couple of options to be covered here on dashboards. So we'll continue our discussion next week also. We can go through all these options remaining, like changing parameters, set values, because we have not seen the implementation.
Yeah, once we
Sheet and
see the implementation, then only we'll able to understand better, maybe.
right. So again, I will start from the sheet from Monday, because we need to kind of, the landing page concept is a lot of, you get a lot of scenarios or actual requirement for that. So go to sheet is very important, and we'll start from this only on Monday, and we'll kind of cover these things.
Sure.
Right. So any questions, I mean, before we drop today related to whatever we covered?
No, nothing from my end.
Darshan, Angad, yeah,
As
Anand.
work, still having doubts.
Darshan, can you please repeat?
As I work, I'll be having some doubts. Then I'll be get back to you on that.
Okay. But yeah, please do work, because see, until unless you will not work, definitely questions will not be there. You will not
Yes,
see the actual challenge.
correct.
So right. So not a problem. Just work on it, and then maybe we can discuss it further in our Monday session.
No problem.
Right. So I'll share this video and the workbook again on Google Drive so that you can take it a reference.
Yeah, you can
No.
share the TWBX file because I had the sample superstore, so it worked for me. But it was initially asking for the extract.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. So yeah, I'll save it first of all, and then I'll share it accordingly. So far, I didn't save it as packaged workbook. Okay, fine. I'll share both the things.
Sure.
Mm,
Right,
thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll meet again on Monday, and then we can discuss further.
Sure. Thanks.
All right then. Thank you.